Hey crafters and bullet journaling crafters. I've got just a easy little spread, a single page collection I should call it, I think is the proper term. I'm getting this down for a pen inventory, or as I've now coined the phrase, penventory. So I'm starting to do a setup here, and I thought I'd just bring you along with me as I set up a little grid so I can paint in my colors of pens. And what I'm going to be inventorying are my Kaiser color gel pens. Really beautiful gel pens. Half of these are pastel, the other half are glitters. They're really fun in the journal, and I just wanted to have a inventory of these pens, but you could use this with paints, with watercolors, with Copic markers, with Cricut markers, with colored pencils, anything that you wanted to keep a record of your inventory and have it with you. So when you go to the craft store, you can go, did I already have that color? And you can go in and look and go, oh yeah, I did. Here it is right here. So what I've done so far is I've just taken my stencil and I've just did some spacing. And I just used my pencil and I made a little line across the top so I can put my title up here. I also wanted to have enough room here for the manufacturer's name and the type of pens or paints or whatever. And then I wanted to split the remainder in half. I basically want 2 columns. And then I wanted to know the center of each of those columns. Now I'm working on an Artist Loft journal from Michaels. These are great little $5 journals. They are 28 dots wide, so I actually counted the dots. Your journal may be a little different. You may not have dots. You can just measure if you want to. So it's not really that particular. So since I've done that, I'm now going to use this hexagon shape, and I'm going to create some little areas that I can fill in with my color. Now there's a little trick to this. When I set up my hexagon, where that center line is, I actually want this point of my hexagon to be on that center line, because when I do the next hexagon, it's going to be down here, and again I want that to fall, these two, on that center line. So I'm going to go ahead, and since I've already spaced this out and have it marked, I don't need to use my pencil for this. I'm just going to go straight to my marker, which is the Faber-Castell, and I think I totally said this wrong the other day, Pitt Artist Pen. This is the extra small. I think I called it a Faber-Castell, or who knows what I called it. So it's a Faber-Castell. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong also. Pitt Artist Pen. Okay, let's get going. Enough of the silly business, right? So I've got my center point right here. I'm right on my line, and I'm going to go ahead and just outline that hexagon. Now when you're doing stencils, especially these little flimsy plastic ones, get your pen right up and down. They're pretty flimsy, so it's really easy for your pen to go whoop and go right underneath that thing. Okay, now I'm actually just coming down, and now I'm just going to use this line on the bottom here, and I'm not going to rewrite that line. I don't want a bunch of overly marked pen marks, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of that hexagon. And as you can see now, I have 2 connected, and I'm just going to carry on, and I want 12. So find my hexagon again. Now look, 2 lines, these 2 lines fit, and I just line that up, and I just fill that in. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for 12 shapes on this side, and then I'm going to line up again. I'm going to use that same center marking, and I don't know, I hope that pencil is dark enough that you can see it, but I'm going to use that same center mark to line up that first hexagon, and I'll be moving down to the right. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get all of those marked out for us. Okay, as you can see, we have our 12 hexagons here, 12 here. Now we're going to go ahead and write in some titling up here. And I am going to title the top Pen Ventory. And because I want to do a little bit of fun writing, I'm again going to space this out with my pencil just so I don't completely blow it. So Pen Ventory, there's 10 letters there. So I just want to break it right at the center line. So I know that I have an N, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit. And I was just going for kind of long and skinny letters with one bold section. Okay, not bad. I can see my letters started to get shorter, so I'll go ahead and bring those up a little bit. This is why pencils are great, because you can fix it. All right, Pen Ventory, and then it's Kaiser. Color. And they are gel pens, and I'm just going to write the gel kind of funny too. And that's just because I feel like playing with lettering here. Now I'm just having a little fun. You can do whatever you want. Now what I'm also going to do, I'll go over all this with ink. And then as I put my colors in, I'll also be writing in. So I may have yellow here, and I'll just go ahead and put the name of that color here, or here, here, or here. So I'm going to use this upper line right here, or the upper line right here, and come off of that with just a cursive title. So I can erase some of those pen marks now. We won't need those anymore. And then we can go over our writing in pen. So I have one thing I'm going to fix here. On the Y, I made this side of the letter the wide side, but on all the rest of my letters it's on the opposite end. So I'm actually going to just fix that. Which doesn't look very fixed, but once I erase that pencil, it will. There we go. And I really didn't like my writing very well on Kaiser color, so I can just erase it and do it again. Oh, and while I'm erasing, can just erase any of the pencil marks that are around these letters and just cleans it right up. And I'm just using the eraser that came with my mechanical pencil. It's not any kind of special eraser, but you could get an artist eraser if you wanted to. And then we'll just clean all that right off my desk. Okay, pen Ventory, we don't know by who, and they're gel pens, so let's finish that. And I'm just going to go for it here and just freehand this. Kaiser color, and then I thought that was kind of fun, kind of a little funky and short but stretched out. Okay. It's titled Pen Ventory. It's got the manufacturer name, Kaiser color, could be Cricut, could be Copic, whatever you need. And then the type of pen, gel pens. And now I'm just going to go ahead and have some fun with coloring. So talk about doing some serious adult coloring, right? I'm going to open this box and look at how nicely lined up they are. They're pretty much in the order I want them to be, so I'm just going to go ahead and start on one end and go from top to bottom. And I am going to color these in. Okay, there you have it. I put this little post-it note down because I'm a lefty. I really didn't plan ahead. I should have done this column first because gel pens do need a minute to dry, and depending on what kind of pen Ventory you're doing, you might need a little time for them to dry. So I'm just going to peel that up, and because it was stuck there, it wasn't moving around, so that worked out great. And I've got my colors. So the last thing I wanted to do is just go through and label them. And these are their pastels, but as you can see, some of them are really beautiful highlighty type colors. These are all glitters, and I just don't know if that camera's going to pick it up for you. I'll try and get it to move around and see if you can see any of that shimmer, but it's really, really beautiful ink. So that's been fun to play with in my planner. I had a really good time with them. So I'm just going to go ahead and write the titles in. Now, these are just, I'm labeling them whatever I want to call them. The pens didn't have any listings of particular colors on them. But again, if you had something like a Copic marker, you would want to be able to put the number specifically of what it is. You may even want to have just watercolor paper or something along those lines that you cut to size and create your pen Ventory on that for the Copics, because you might want to have a little square, for example, where you can put, instead of a hexagon, pass over the whole thing once, and then over 2/3 of it a second time, and then over 1/3 of it a third time. And that way you can see light, medium, and dark by layering it. So that can be something you do for Copics in particular. So I have a yellow, an orange, yellow, orange, and I'm just going to go through and label all these. And then at the top here where I've got pen Ventory, I will be coloring this all in. And I think I like that actually where it's kind of scratched in, so I'm going to leave it like that. And that's kind of a fun typography. But that's it. That's a spread or a collection page for pens and the particular inventories that you might have for them. So here's one more example of a pen Ventory. This is for the Cricut Ultimate Fine Point Pen Set. And on this one I had 30 pens, so I just added 3 more of those hexagons. I could have gone 1 more right up here if I needed to. And that just gave me enough room for all 30 in a very confined space. And plenty, the swatches are big enough that you can really get a good idea of those colors. So when I'm looking at a project and I'm thinking, I want to have some green writing, but do I want the light green or the green, regular green, or the sour apple maybe, or more of a jade, turquoise. I have these nice swatches to look at and I can see them readily. And this didn't take very long. It was pretty quick and pretty easy, and I'm pretty excited about this one. So if you like what you see and you haven't done it already, then click on that button down there. It says subscribe, and there's a bell next to it. If you hit that bell, then you'll get actual notifications when I put a new video up. So here's one more spread for a craft version or a craft collection idea for the bullet journal.